You know what breaks my heart as a urologist? It's not the complex cases or the rare conditions. It's watching men in their 60s, 70s, and beyond walk into my office carrying shame about something completely normal: aging. But here's what really gets me. Most of the intimate struggles they're facing aren't because their bodies have given up. They're happening because of 7 specific mistakes that almost nobody talks about. And I'm going to be completely honest with you. These aren't the mistakes you think they are. I'm Dr. Narita, and I've spent 12 years helping men navigate the changes that come with getting older. And if you're watching this right now, I want you to know something. What you're experiencing isn't a life sentence. It's not something you just have to live with. Most of the time, it's something we can understand, address, and improve. Before we go any further, do me a favor. Hit that like button if you want more honest health conversations like this one, and drop a comment telling me where you're watching from. I read every single one, and it reminds me why I do this work. Now, let's talk about what's really going on. Here's the myth I hear constantly. Doc, I'm over 60. This is just what happens. There's nothing I can do. And I understand why men believe that. Society tells us that aging means accepting decline. Your friends joke about it. Commercials suggest the only solution is a little blue pill. Even some doctors, and I hate saying this, will brush off your concerns with, well, you're getting older. But here's the truth that most men never hear. Your body at 60, 70, or 80 is still remarkably capable of intimacy, pleasure, and connection. Yes, things change. Hormones shift. Blood flow patterns adjust. Recovery takes longer. But decline, that's not inevitable. What is happening is this. Most men are unknowingly making 7 specific errors that amplify the natural changes of aging. These mistakes affect your circulation, your hormone balance, your nervous system response, and your mental state. They create a cascade effect, where one small problem triggers another, then another, until you're dealing with something that feels overwhelming. But here's the beautiful part, and please hear me on this. Most of these errors are completely reversible. Not overnight, not with some miracle cure, but with understanding and small, consistent adjustments. So today, we're going to walk through these 7 overlooked mistakes together. I'm going to explain what's actually happening in your body, why it matters to your daily life and dignity, and most importantly, what you can do about it. Now, before we dive in, I want to share why this conversation matters so much to me personally. In my 12 years as a urologist, I've sat across from thousands of men having the hardest conversations of their lives. I've seen the frustration in their eyes. I've heard the silence that fills the room when they can't find the words. I've watched marriages strain under the weight of things that aren't being said. But I've also witnessed something incredible. When men understand what's happening in their bodies, not just the what, but the why, everything changes. The shame lifts, the fear becomes manageable, and suddenly, improvement doesn't seem impossible anymore. I remember one patient, Roger, who came to see me at 67. He'd been avoiding intimacy with his wife for 2 years because he was terrified of failing. But when we uncovered that his real issue was a combination of medication side effects, poor circulation from inactivity, and chronic stress he wasn't addressing, things we could actually work with, his entire demeanor shifted. 6 months later, he told me he felt like himself again. Not like he was 25, like himself. And that's what we're after here. This isn't about turning back time. It's about understanding your body well enough to work with it, not against it. So let's get into these 7 errors, and I promise you, at least 2 or 3 of these are going to sound familiar. Error number 7, ignoring the medication's side effects hiding in plain sight. Let's start with something that affects almost every man over 60, but hardly anyone connects the dots on medications. If you're taking pills for blood pressure, cholesterol, anxiety, depression, or even just occasional heartburn, there's a very real chance those medications are affecting your intimate health, and nobody warned you about it. Here's what's happening biologically. Many common medications, especially blood pressure drugs, antidepressants, and even some acid reflux treatments, affect the delicate balance of neurotransmitters and blood flow that intimacy requires. They're doing their job for your heart or your mood, but they're also dampening signals, reducing circulation to certain areas, or altering hormone metabolism. Now, emotionally, this is devastating because you think something's wrong with you. You think you're broken. But really, your medication is just creating an unintended side effect that nobody mentioned when you picked up that prescription. Practically, this shows up as difficulty with arousal, reduced sensitivity, delayed response times, or sometimes complete disinterest. And because it happens gradually, you might not even realize it started when you began a new medication 6 months ago. Here's what to do. Don't stop your medication. Please, I cannot stress this enough. Don't just quit taking something your doctor prescribed, but do have an honest conversation with your physician. Say, I've noticed changes in my intimate health since starting this medication. Are there alternatives we can try that might have fewer side effects in this area? Many times there are. Different classes of blood pressure medications, for example, have vastly different side effect profiles. Your doctor can often find something that protects your heart without compromising your intimate life. Error number 6, treating your body like it still runs on 30-year-old fuel. This one's tough because nobody wants to hear it, but I'm going to say it with love. What you eat matters more now than it ever has. When you were younger, your body could compensate for a poor diet. Your vascular system was resilient. Your hormone production was robust. You could eat fast food 3 times a week and still function fine. But after 60, your body needs support. And one of the biggest overlooked errors I see is men continuing to eat inflammatory, circulation-damaging foods without realizing how directly it affects their intimate health. Here's the biology. Intimacy requires excellent blood flow. Your blood vessels need to dilate quickly and efficiently. But when your diet is high in processed foods, excess sugar, and unhealthy fats, you develop something called endothelial dysfunction. That's just a fancy way of saying the inner lining of your blood vessels gets stiff and inflamed. Blood doesn't flow as freely, and that affects everywhere blood needs to go, including the areas critical for intimate function. Emotionally, this shows up as frustration and confusion. You think, why isn't my body working? But your body is working. It's just working with the materials you're giving it. Practically, this means difficulty achieving and maintaining firmness, reduced stamina, and longer recovery times between intimate encounters. Here's what to do. Start thinking of food as medicine. Focus on foods that support vascular health, leafy greens, berries, nuts, fatty fish like salmon, and yes, even dark chocolate in moderation. These foods are rich in nitric oxide precursors and antioxidants that help your blood vessels stay flexible. Cut back on the obvious culprits: excessive sugar, fried foods, and highly processed meals. You don't have to be perfect, but you do have to be consistent. Error number 5, believing that inactivity is taking it easy. Here's a question I ask every man who comes into my office. How much movement are you getting every day? And the answer far too often is not much. I'm retired. I'm taking it easy. Gentlemen, I need you to hear this. Inactivity is not rest. It's not preservation. After 60, inactivity is one of the fastest paths to functional decline, including in your intimate life. Here's why. Intimacy is a cardiovascular event. Your heart rate increases, your blood pressure rises, your muscles engage. If your cardiovascular system isn't getting regular exercise, it can't perform when you need it to. Biologically, regular movement keeps your blood vessels flexible, maintains healthy testosterone levels, improves oxygen delivery throughout your body, and supports the nervous system responses required for arousal and pleasure. When you're inactive, the opposite happens. Your circulation slows, your muscle mass decreases, your testosterone production drops even further. And all of this creates a feedback loop where intimacy becomes harder. So you avoid it, which makes it even harder next time. Emotionally, this creates a sense of helplessness. You feel like your body has betrayed you, but in reality, your body is just responding to the signals you're giving it. And right now, you're signaling that it doesn't need to maintain those functions. Practically, this shows up as fatigue during intimacy, difficulty with arousal, reduced libido, and sometimes even anxiety about whether your body will cooperate. Here's what to do. You don't need to become a marathon runner. You need consistent, moderate movement. 30 minutes of walking daily is genuinely transformative. Add in some light resistance training twice a week, even bodyweight squats and wall push-ups, and you're supporting your cardiovascular system, your hormones, and your overall vitality. Error number 4, underestimating the power of chronic stress. This is the silent killer of intimate health that almost nobody talks about. You might think stress is just in your head, that it's psychological, not physical. But let me tell you what happens in your body when stress becomes chronic. Your body releases cortisol, a stress hormone that, when constantly elevated, suppresses testosterone production, constricts blood vessels, and disrupts sleep. Emotionally, this creates anxiety about performance, which creates more stress, which creates more physical difficulty, a vicious cycle that traps you. Practically, this shows up as reduced interest, difficulty maintaining arousal, and a sense of being disconnected from your own body. Here's what to do. Build stress management into your daily routine. Deep breathing, 5 minutes of intentional slow breaths, genuine conversations, time outdoors, hobbies that engage your mind and hands. These aren't luxuries, they're medicine. Error number 3, sleeping fewer than 6 hours. Sleep is when your body repairs blood vessels, balances hormones, and recovers from daily stress. When you consistently shortchange sleep, your testosterone drops, your blood vessels stay stiff, and your nervous system stays on high alert. The fix is simple. Prioritize 7 to 8 hours. Error number 2, avoiding honest conversations. Many men never tell their partner what's happening, so both of them feel alone. The emotional weight of secrecy damages intimacy more than any physical issue. Practically, this means you're carrying a burden alone that could be shared. The fix is to find the right moment and say, "I've been feeling some changes and I want us to understand it together." This one conversation can transform everything. Error number 1, believing you're alone. The most damaging mistake is believing you're the only one struggling. You are not. Millions of men face the same changes. The difference is that some men get help and others suffer in silence. You don't have to be the second group. So if this video helped you, hit like, share it with a brother, and subscribe for more honest men's health content. Drop a comment below and tell me which error surprised you most.